first of all, I want to welcome you to Beckhoff Finland. And actually, we have now this about 2 years old building here, which is very unique building because it's mostly made of German and Finnish materials. So it's about 96% of all the materials are from Finland or from Germany. So hopefully you can feel the quality, and which is at least going to our products. About my presentation, I'm not so sure. And you know, in Beckhoff we love technology, and that's why today I will not talk so much about technology. And because every now and then Hans Beckhoff is reminding me that what is the purpose of the company. And yeah, in normal company it's of course to generate some profit to the owners. It's of course same situation in Beckhoff. What is a little bit special in Beckhoff that owner is not taking this money. He's only willing to have money because he wants to develop more technical things. And that's why I take this other point of view, and this process is defined there. Okay, we all know this story, what has happened in the last couple of 100 years, and now we are going to more business-based, software-based products. Electronics was coming maybe in the 80s, PLCs were coming, and we were implementing this to our systems and machines. And if we compare what happened really in 80s, when PLC came, we were going to the direction of PLC from relays. And I would say that now when we are joining to this IoT and other trends world, where it's at least as big step. And sometimes we have a little bit difficulties to talk about IoT and industrial IoT and Industry 4.0 and cyber physical systems and so on. I would add also PC-based control to this list. And in this presentation I'm calling them trends, because all these 5 trends, what you can see here, are having same kind of affections to companies which are producing machines and systems to the industry. So if we think about what is the situation with IoT, it's a question of networking, it's a question of new features from software, and of course the idea is that it is not so much depending on the place where you have this machine, where you have the software and connectivity, and this calculation power is taking care of that. And if we compare this when we are talking about Industry 4.0, basic ideas are little bit same. So we can say that IoT or industrial IoT is part of Industry 4.0. And then when we go a little bit further, we have these cyber physical systems, which is giving us even more features. Okay. Then there was this PC-based control, which I already mentioned, which I wanted to calculate to this list. It's because in PC, when we have an open operating system, in Beckhoff case it's Windows, Microsoft Windows. So we have all these basic functions available. So you have possibilities to put display, you have mass memory, you have USB connection, you have serial connection. Of course, Ethernet is there, and this is the very good pace for these new technologies, these trend technologies, what we are now talking about. Beckhoff, we started with PC-based control, 80s, and step by step we have been able to add there more functions. First of all, it was basically only PLC control, and then after that we added these CNC functions, so we were really able to do motion control with PC, and now maybe the last movement is this scientific automation, which is including a lot of different kind of analysis, condition monitoring, robotic vision, and so on. And what is important here when we think about these trends has been enabling these features. So, and I think that the next step is now, at the moment, most of the cases, the PC is the place where this all is located. But in future, it will not be so. So basically, we can select through this very good connectivity where is the processor. We can select where are the I/O, where is the machine, what we are controlling. So we can really mix everything. And when we think about this processor development, what has happened in last 20 years and what will happen in next years is that this process power will definitely grow. So it is giving us a lot of new possibilities to develop different kind of features. And at the same time, we have to remember that this processor can locate everywhere. So this is one add-on to this technology, and this diagram is showing pretty well what is the capacity, what will be available. So, for example, we in Beckhoff as a technology fund, we have a lot of work to develop such features to our automation system, which requires this calculation power, what will be available in next years. Okay, so if we put a little bit together these trends, what they are meaning to the company, automation supplier or machine builder, I would say that first of all we are getting a lot of calculating power more, which is meaning that applications are not any more limited because of the power normally. Connectivity is coming, so for example, OPC is giving us a lot of new features which is allowing us to use different methods for communication with different systems. And what is sure, there will be more software. And this software will be the most thing which will add value to the products. If we think about the traditional way how normally machine builder was working, before there was sales, and the sales guy was selling the machine, and then engineering came. Normally there was mechanical engineering, there was electrical engineering, maybe some automation, and then everything was done. It was going to the production, and there was not so much multitasking. So everyone was doing his own job and then dropping the result to the next box. And if we think about the systems what are now available, it is not leading to very optimized solution. So we have to get rid of this thinking. And when I see in Finland, when I check the typical machine builder, the management is coming from the mechanical side. And 30 years ago on the market, when they were competing together with competitors, the main things were coming from mechanical things. And now we have to remember that during these 30 years, first it was going maybe a little bit to electrical things and software things. And this step, these trends are forcing us to really situation that competition is happening with the software. And I still see this problem pretty much in our customers, that management doesn't understand what is really the meaning of the software in this product. And we have to remember that this development is not happening so fast. So if you are not investing now to this know-how for software and programming, probably you will be in trouble during next 5 years. Of course, depending on which field the company is working, but I would say that anyway in 10 years this point will be mostly, competitive points will come mostly from software. Okay, and yeah, long-term customer relationship is always what we are trying to get in Beckhoff, and I think that that's true in most of the industrial cases. And if we think about that, here is Beckhoff, here is machine builder, and machine builder is supplying some kind of machine to the customer, which is normally doing some kind of production to the end customers. And the question is that how we are able to create added value between Beckhoff and between this machine builder. And on the other hand, if we want to have the healthy business, it should be so that this machine builder is getting enough turnover and enough profit from this customer. And more we are going to complicated systems, more information we as an automation supplier need from this value chain. And it means that we have to go to this industry field more, because of course this customer is giving us requirements, do this, but not necessarily always they understand what is really needed here. So if we would be able to communicate or understand this customer better, maybe we can develop such features which are very valuable for this our machine builder. And okay, now at the same time we will get this calculating power, we will get this connectivity, and we will get more software. So the system is getting more complicated. Before, this machine was going there, it was compact machine, all the mechanical parts, electric software was there, but in future it's not so easy. So maybe we can take the example like crane. At the moment, the machine builder who is building cranes are supplying the crane with features, maybe service agreement, so that it's working for 10 or 15 years. And what can happen? Can happen that there will be operator who is offering to the end customer services, lifting services. And suddenly the end customer, this customer is not anymore the customer of this machine builder. There will come one company between which is taking the profit away. And this is then really changing the value chain. Job of automation supplier or machine builder, it's not easy. There are a lot of interest groups which are affecting to this selection of the automation system, which is affecting to this implementation, how you are doing, and basically you should be able to communicate with all these balls at the same time and do a lot of multitasking to achieve best result with these variables which are probably important for the customer. And of course you have to understand this value chain, because for some customer this reputation is very important, but maybe for the other customers it's only performance question. And you have to be able to read from this chain value what is important to this customer. And now in the toolbox you have these more calculation power, you have this connectivity, and you have software. And yeah, this is at the same time interesting, but maybe also hard. So the idea then, if we think about what should happen, is that we are getting more features from these trends which we are putting together, and of course in this value chain then we try to get benefits to different levels in this value chain. So Mr. Porter did kind of 5 forces maybe 10-15 years ago, which are forming the competition. And now if we are inserting these trends to this system what he has developed, it is giving us interesting results. First of all, I think that machine builders should be more ready, more careful new competitors which are coming through this value added chains, because 20 years ago, 30 years ago, mechanical parts or mechanical functions were giving this most things for the competition, but now it is changing to software. And when this software is there, risk is that new type of company will take the whole business. But at the same time, it is possible that a supplier is collecting, for example, with IoT-based system, a lot of information from the customer machine, collecting this data, having very good know how the machine is working and how to control it. And in this case, this machine builder is of course getting more power to this customer, because basically he is having the best knowledge what is going on his machine and how to operate it. Another possibility is that this end user is realizing this system by themselves or with another supplier. And of course it is leading the situation that this buyer is having now more power. And when the technology is changing, risk that there will be new kind of companies to the competition, it's always bigger when this technology step is happening. And if you are using this model as a machine builder to check out your situation, in most of the cases it is leading maybe new strategic decisions which are normally leading this situation, that you start to understand that the software-based knowledge is more important for the system. We have been talking a lot about IoT and Industry 4.0 already many years, but if we check what is really implementation level, this is from the production companies, and we can see that still 40% almost is very early stage. So basically hasn't done anything. Then half is maybe developing something, and only 16% is saying that they are already, let's say, in reasonable situation. And I would say that if machine builder is awake and doing this implementation enough early, his position in the competition will be better. And which is then stopping the implementation. Of course, security is always the question. I think that it's also the way to avoid developing. And for example, I'm always saying to our customers that, okay, forget the security in the beginning. Check what is possible with these new features, with this new software things, with this new connectivity. And if it makes sense, after that, it's good to estimate how much efforts security needs. Because then you can really estimate, does it make sense? We all know that it's possible to do security system without problem. It costs money. And then it's only evaluation that does it make sense or not. Because if you are immediately saying that, yeah, doesn't work with us because too risky. So then you don't see these new possibilities. And there is also this lack of management understanding, which I was mentioning from own experiment. This is nothing specific for Finland. I have also discussing with my colleagues around the world, and there is a little bit same situation. Of course, the Finnish industrial structure, it's pretty much same as in Europe, but of course smaller. Then this same guy, as Mr. Porter has defined together with Heppelmann, kind of new technology stack. And this technology stack can be base for developing these features to machines. And there it's visible which kind of external connectivity you need. Of course, there is also the security. Then you have different layers for the controls. And when we are thinking about the automation systems, of course, these new trends are giving us almost endless possibilities to develop automation systems really so that they are optimized for the application. And we just need to open our eyes and estimate objective what is really needed. And when we are doing this development, I think it is important at least to understand what could be the structure of future automation systems, so that we are ready to say that, okay, at the moment this controller is taking care of this machine, but the design is so that we can place this to the cloud, we can place this to the other controller, or we can place it everywhere. And I think this is one of the main things in the development at the moment. So this was my part, how to try to get also some turnover and some profit from these trends. Any questions, comments?